Marianne, it's on. Is it?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, we're going.
Can you guys wave and make sure I can see you?
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Yoga for Stiff People. Great opportunity if you've been laying around, sitting around, to be able to get some circulation, blood flow. Very moderate to easy, but really great for stretch. So use props, use whatever you need if you need them. And Marlena and Chuck are going to be the participants with me today. And let's everybody start in child's pose. So we sit back, hips to heels. Couple options for your arms. You can take them forward. You can take them at your side. Forehead onto your mat. Take your knees apart. Take your knees together. Experiment with child's pose. Everybody has a different body, different shapes. So some of you might like the knees wide. Some of you might like the knees together. What happens is the knees together is going to be more stretch for your lower back, and the knees apart will be more for your hips. So I want you guys to take, and everybody out there, to take some really good deep breaths. Inhale, fill up your backs. Exhale, pull your belly and your ribs in as you let the air go out. It's going to be a natural drawing of your navel anyway. This practice is going to be more of a vinyasa hatha class, to where we will work and focus on the ujjayi breath. If you know it, make a soft sound in the back of your throat. Every inhale and exhale, in and out through your nose. Couple more breaths. And no worries if your hips aren't all the way to your heels. That's common. You're super tight, you're not going to get your hips to your heels. A really good idea is to, for some of you that are brand new, put a blanket underneath your knees. You can use a blanket underneath your hips. On your next inhalation, come into table pose. Look down at your hands first. Stack your shoulders right above your wrists. Stack your hips right above your knees. Start to move any way the spine wants to move. You can cat-cow, just inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw your belly in and round. You can move circles. Whatever movement feels good. And if you're in the privacy of your own home, do whatever feels good. No judgment. Just a couple more breaths. Find your breath. And then come into a still table pose. We'll do a couple cat-cows together. Inhale, shoulders back, heart up. Stretch out your throat. Exhale, scoop your belly, round your back, and find your cat pose. Inhale, press your hands firmly into the mat. Engage, shoulders down your spine, and lift. Exhale, scoop. Pull your belly in, round. Empty all the air out. Look right toward your quads. Two more. Inhale. Fill it up. Fill it up. Pause at the top. And exhale. Scoop. Round. Press through the floor. Dome your back. Pull your scapulas apart. Inhale. And exhale. Good. On the next inhalation, we're going to come into what we call cow. And keep that little bend in your back as you curl your toes, lift your hips, and come into downward facing dog. So what you're going to notice is your sit bones will go higher. And those of you that are super tight in hamstrings, bend your knees. I will say that throughout the practice, that it's super important. And let your head and neck, your head relax right in between your biceps. Push the floor away. Lift your armpits. Press your heels to the mat, lift them up, pedal out your feet. All of these are great options for you to just get some movement into your first downward facing dog. Down dog is a great position. It's good energy for your arms and your legs, and it's super good to lengthen your spine. Something that you can incorporate every day. Separate your feet a little wider, and you'll get a different sensation. So again, you have to experiment what works best for you. I'm going to tell you to bring your index fingers forward, your thumb and finger have most of the weight. But if that doesn't work for your shoulders, maybe your second finger will be forward. So play with that. Couple more breaths in your down dog. Good, and look in between your hands and gently step your feet to your hands. Coming into your first forward fold. Grab opposite elbows, soften your knees a lot. What I don't want to see, and I can't see you, but I don't want you to be in this position. I want you to look at your feet, lift all 10 toes, and bend your knees as much as you need to and let your head completely surrender. And you will feel this amazing stretch. If you need to, you can keep your fingertips on the floor. You can always use blocks or books if you can't reach the floor. Knees soft, lift your toes, lift them all up, and set them all back down. Push down through your feet, take your hands to your hips. Engage your core and come all the way up to stand. As you roll your shoulders back, palms face forward, and find an intention for your practice. It's bringing people together, bringing your families together to practice in this way. As you can close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open. Just take another full breath in. And the next inhalation, raise your arms up. Grab your left wrist. Bring your feet together, big toes touch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend to the right. Only go as far as it feels comfortable. Right shoulder slightly forward, chin off your chest. Take a full inhale. And exhale, go a little bit deeper. Root down more through the left foot. Inhale, come back to center. Engage your core always. Release and switch hands. And exhale, side bend to the left. What you're trying to do is keep your two hip pointers and your shoulders even. So you just kind of go with your mind's eye, feel it out. Press through the right foot. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Come into cactus arms and pull your shoulders way into your back. Start to gaze up. If that bothers your neck, just gaze forward. Press your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and that will help stabilize your neck. So right at the top of your palate. And as you can bring the shoulders deep in your back, pull your belly and your ribs in and feel this upper shoulder loop. Stack your shoulders back over your hips. Bring your arms back up, look up. Exhale, swan dive over your legs. Soften your knees. Inhale, take your half lift. Exhale, step your left leg back, drop your left knee to the mat. Right foot's gonna move slightly to the right, left knee slightly to the left, and root down through your right foot. Reach your arms up, find your low lunge. This pose right here is going to really help the strength and build the strength in your right leg as that's your root. And your back leg, you have to drag your quadricep towards your right heel. Hug your legs in and feel the power of your legs in this pose. How much you can stabilize with your energy. Shoulders down your back. You can always bend your elbows. You can always take your hands to your side. This is always going to be the modified position in any lunge. Know that going on in your yoga practice, that this is doable for everybody. Or even fingertips to the mat. Take another full breath. Good, on the next inhale, reach your left arm forward and your right arm back. Pull your shoulder together into your back body. And you can take your gaze right over your left thumb. You can take your gaze towards the right. You can also take your gaze past your right thumb. If it's available and feels good in your neck. You're not going to compromise your neck just to get your head to turn. It's not important. Feel the twist from your core into your waist. Good, inhale, reach your right arm back up. Exhale, take your hands to the mat. Lift your left knee off the ground. Step your right leg back and bring your left foot forward. Switch legs. Drop your right knee. Remember to put a pillow or a towel or something underneath if you need to. Root your left foot, knee over ankles, shin vertical. Hug and reach your arms up. So lifting your arms up could be the very last thing you do. Set your legs up. Make sure your left foot and your right knee are hip width apart. Hug. Feel the energy in your legs. That's where you build heat. And now you start to bring the breath into it, the inhale, the exhale through the nose. A little soft sound in the back of your throat. On the next inhale, reach your arms up. Take your right arm forward, left arm, and pull your belly and your ribs in. Again, your drishti. Your drishti is a focal point where you glue your eyes to a point, and that's going to help you, along with the breath, to keep you focused. Take whatever you need. Try to even out your left arm with your right arm. Lift it up a little bit, Chuck. There we go. Perfect. Good. Inhale. Both arms come up. Exhale. Take your hands to the mat. Lift your right knee. Step your left leg back. Drop to your knees here. And with this drop of the knees, I want you to stick your booty way out. So this is going to be your vinyasa if you choose to do one today. So the reason your booty's out is because there's no way my hips can come before my heart. And you're gonna squeeze your arms in and take your chin, chest to the mat and come into a little cobra pose. Find your cobra pose. Fingers come wide outside. Tense your fingers and draw your shoulders into your back. You can stay with your gaze on the mat or on the floor. Press your toenails into the mat and just feel this super squeeze into your shoulder blades. Contract through your thoracic spine. Bend your right elbow and just take a little twist over to the left. Keep your fingertips on the mat and feel the shoulder stretch. Inhale, come back to neutral. And exhale, bend your left elbow and take a little twist over to the right. Keep your legs strong, toes press into the mat. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, come all the way down onto the mat. We're going to bring our arms out forward and place our forehead on the mat. Cactus your arms. Lift your right leg up on your inhale. Set it back down. Lift your left leg up on your inhale. Keep your head and hands on the mat. You're just going to start to warm up through your glutes. Point your toes to the back wall. Just a couple more and use your breath. So the inhale takes your right leg up. Exhale takes you down. Inhale takes you up. Exhale down. Nice. Now add your arms with it. As you lift your right leg up, take your arms up and lower back down. If that doesn't work for you, you can keep your arms down. Left leg up. Exhale, bring it back down. Both legs up, both arms up. Full locust pose. Contract your back muscles and bring it all the way down. Nice job. Forearms onto the mat. Here is your transition. Super important for especially the newer people. Tilt your chin into your chest. Forearms on the ground like you're going to do a plank. Stay on your knees. Round your spine and push yourself up on your knees. Take your hands to the mat. Get the good grip. Sit bones high. Push the floor away. Downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths. Whatever you need here. So we're going to just go through one more of those little vinyasas to show you what you need to do. Because it takes some practice if you're new, and you can always skip it. Drop to your knees. Stick your booty way back. Drop your forearms to the mat. Chin, chest, and come all the way up. You don't have to come all the way up, shoulders back. That's just perfect. Toenails pressed down. Forehead back to the mat. Forearms on the mat. Round your spine. Pull your belly in. Chin to chest. Chin to chest. That's huge that your chin's in your chest. And then take it back to your downward facing dog. So that's going to be the option if you all want a little bit more. Otherwise, you can do your regular vinyasa. I'm not going to even teach that today. Look between your hands and gently step your feet to your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, take your half lift. Exhale, bow. Press down through your feet and raise your arms all the way up. Big stretch, look up. Palms come together through your heart center. And press your hands at your side, roll your shoulders back. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, keep strong legs and strong core. Forward fold. Half lift on your inhale. The half lift is engage your core and flattens out your back. Pull your ribs in your belly and feel that contraction. Set your fingertips to the mat, step your left leg back. Everything we've done. Left knee drops, sweep your arms up, low lunge. On the inhale, left arm forward, right arm back, and twist. Take your right hand onto your left thigh and reach your left arm right above your ear. So right hand, left thigh, inner thigh, and reach your left arm up. Other leg. Yep, yep. Perfect. I love to assist. Hand here, arm here. Up and over. What we do is call this reverse half camel. Root your right foot. Didn't change the position of your legs. Hug. Breathe into your left side body. Beautiful. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, reach your left hand back. Reach your right arm up for half camel. Stay rooted strong through your right foot. By now, you should even feel a little leg shake going on. That's how much energy you're bringing in. And that's how much energy is coming back from the earth up. Breathe. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, 3 bows over your right thigh. We're going to fire up your triceps here. Gaze right in front of your right foot. Inhale, come back up. Same energy in the legs. You're going to try not to lose your energy. Good. Inhale, come back up. One more time. Pause here. Roll your shoulders back. And just take a couple breaths. Fingertips come to the mat. Curl your back toes. Lift your knee, left knee off the mat. Hug in. Nobody does anything but this. and you can stay here. You'll already feel the intensity. So this is what you do if it's too much. But I'm going to give you a challenge. Take your hands and hover. No more than 2 inches. No more than 2 inches. Pull your belly off your thigh. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Shoulders into your back. Pull your belly in. Feel the intensity. Harder than even a crescent lunge. Hands back to the mat. Great job, you guys. Drop your left knee. Open up your right arm. Dragon twist. Right shoulder into your back. Look up at your right thumb. Spread open your fingers. Yeah, that's going to bring out the sunshine today. We need sunshine. Please, God, bring us sunshine today. All right, this one is a 50-50 chance, guarantee you, amongst everybody. You're going to bend your left knee, heel towards your butt, with your right arm stay up. Now, if you feel a hamstring cramp, set it down, because that's what usually happens if you're super tight. Otherwise, circle your right arm. Your right arm is exactly where it needs to be, and grab your foot. As you grab your foot, pull your heel towards your glute. If you get a cramp, let it go. You can still get this amazing pec stretch with your arms spread. Left fingertips on the mat so it releases any over-flexion of your left wrist. Good. If you have your hand on your foot, push and pull and feel how much quad, just the energy you can bring into it. Super job, everybody. Set your foot down. Bring your right hand in onto the floor outside of your right foot. We're just going to do a switch. So lift your left knee, set your left foot forward, right leg back. Drop your right knee, come into your low lunge. Reach your arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Right arm forward, left arm back. Find your drishti. You just have the exhale here. Good. Inhale, reach your left arm, hand onto your right inner thigh, and lift your right arm up and over your ear. What I want you to feel here is this amazing side breath. So our side body houses so much of our lymphatic system that when you can bring energy into this side body, it's so amazing. You're going to feel it all the rest of your day. One more breath. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, right hand to your right hamstring. Look over your right shoulder. Pull your left shoulder down the back. Look over your right shoulder. Whatever feels the best on your neck. Your neck is going to control your head. The weight of your head is control how it feels on your neck. Inhale, both arms up. Stay rooted through your left foot. You need to keep balance to do this next one. Exhale, bow. Feel your core. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, come back up. If you're clenching your toes into the mat, lift all 5 toes up. Exhale, hold. Shoulders back. Engage your arms. Feel your triceps ignite. Excellent. Set your right hand, left hand to the mat. And lift your right knee off the ground. Hug your legs in. Hug your legs in and then hover. Pull your belly and your ribs in. Pull your belly in and breathe. Breathe and feel the power of this stretch. Remember, this is always available. Maybe a block underneath your knee if you need to. Long enough. Set your right knee back to the mat. Right fingertips to the floor. Open up your left arm, dragon twist. Spread your fingers, shoulders down your back. Look up at your left thumb. Pull your shoulder down your back. Feel the energy of your twist. Every inhale lengthens your spine. Every exhale, pull your belly and your ribs in more. Spread open your hands. You got it. Bend your right knee. As when you bend your right knee, that's going to kind of give you an indicator whether you can grab your foot or not. Because if you get a cramp, set it back down. Open your left arm all the way back. That's your pec stretch. Or grab your foot and press your heel into your glute. Root down through the inner edge of your left foot. Yes, and press it. Feel how much your hamstring, left hamstring contracts. And feel your right quad open up. You're getting multitasked here. Way back with your shoulders, heart way up. And release your foot to the mat. Take your hand, right hand to the mat, left hand to the mat. Curl your right toes, lift your right knee, left leg comes back. Downward facing dog. Anytime in your practice you need a break, you come to your child's pose. It's a really special, great time when you're in a down dog because you're always going to get a couple breaths to reconnect, to recenter, give yourself the time. Good. And now from here, bottom of the exhale, look in between your hands, lift your heels and walk your feet forward to your hands. Press down through your feet. Walk them together, big toes touch. Sit down in an imaginary chair and fingertips will fly up, shoulders into your back body. Pull your belly and your ribs in. So you notice there's constant cues that I'm explaining to you to do to get to the best integration of the posture. Sit a little bit lower. Take your sit bones, draw them under. Tuck your tailbone down. Sit lower, look down at your feet. Lift all 10 toes and see all 10 toes. When you do that, you know you're in the good place. Now I feel that your legs are feeling a little heat. Sit a little lower. Shoulders back. Yes, perfect. Palms together, look up. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Half lift on your inhale. Exhale, bow. Set your left hand right in front of your feet and open your right arm for another little twist. Pull your belly and your ribs in, draw your shoulders into your back. Spread open your fingers. Again, a block will work. Whatever feels good and best in your spine. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, twist over to the left. So keep your hips from moving. Because if you notice, your hips will normally move. Your right hip will go to the right when you twist to the left. Your left hip will go to the left when you twist to the right. So you're really trying to keep your sacrum level, like you could put tallest glass of water with not a drop to spill. Inhale, come back to center. Half lift on your inhale. Take your hands to the mat, step one leg back, other leg back, and come to the top of a push-up. Drop your right forearm to the mat, left forearm to the mat. So there's 3 variations of this pose. Your plank pose, forearm plank, is with your knees off the ground. That's what you build yourself up to. Otherwise, you drop your knees, and that will help engage your core, belly into your spine, quads lift up into your hamstrings, your whole front body lifts into your back body. The last variation, because it's the easiest, of course I'm going to give you that one last, is to come into what we call Sphinx pose. And this is just a great way to find a back stimulation into your lower back. Everybody else, try to hold your plank just for another breath. Another full breath in, full breath out. Excellent. Take your forehead to the mat. Slide your hands, or keep your forearms on the mat. Round your spine, pull your belly in, come onto your knees, set your hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Mindful way to come out. Right leg up on your inhale. Bend your right knee and stack your right hip on top of your left. Lift your left shoulder up so your left shoulder feels like it's even with your right shoulder. Spread your toes, roll, circle your ankle, whatever works. Nice. Square your right hip with your left hip. That means your hip's going to come down towards the floor. And now bring your right foot forward. Step it next to your thumb. This is what happens if you get stuck. Calf, you grab, help yourself along. Left knee stays off the mat. Open right up into your dragon twist. Pull your shoulder into your back. Feel the energy that when you add your back leg. Again, modification. Set your knee down, knee over ankle, shin vertical. Look up at your thumb, pull your shoulder down your back. All good for twists. Everybody drop your left knee. Take your left forearm to the mat, and you can make it parallel with the front of your mat. And take your right leg back to meet your left for your side plank. Now, side plank is a very strong pose. To build it, to build a full variation, you can come on your left hand on your outer edge of your foot. But beginners, stay either on your hips or stay on your left forearm and keep your shin on the ground. Most importantly, you're thinking about bottom hip, left oblique, lift high. Use the root of your arm. Your right arm can come up if you want. It can stay here. It can go behind your back, whatever you like. Sometimes your right foot will just float. Maybe not. One more breath. Feel the energy. On your next inhale, bring your right forearm to the mat. Roll onto your right forearm, right shin. Shoulder, most important in your planks is the head of the arm bone needs to be back here, not forward where you're putting weight into it. Really be mindful. And then reach your left arm up. Or find what works. What's happening? What's happening on this side compared to the other side? Those are the things you learn in the practice. You learn about your body. Lift your right ear off your shoulder. Pull your belly and your ribs in more and lift your bottom hip more. Exactly. Awesome. You feel it? Awesome. Take your left forearm back to the mat. Nice. There's the full expression if you wanted to use chuck. Good. Forearms back to the mat. You're back to your forearm plank. Left hand on the mat. Right hand on the mat. That could maybe have you drop to your knees. Again, always knees are there for you. Lift your hips down, down. Left leg up on your inhale. Open up your hip. Stack your left hip on top. So the open hip will be better for you with a bent knee. Lift your right shoulder to be even with your left shoulder. Let your head hang. And just feel how much you're engaging into your left glute, and at the same time open up your hip flexor and your left quad. Circle your ankle if you didn't do that yet. Whatever you did on the other side. Good, and then square your left hip with your right hip. Bring your left foot forward right next to your thumb. Again, if it stops here, calf grabs. Keep your right knee off the mat. Make sure your left foot and your right foot are hip width apart. And then open up your left arm for your dragon twist. Pull your shoulders into your back. Another point to consider. Your left hip is going to want to come up when your left arm goes up in the twist. So pull your left outer hip under, like almost as if you're trying to bring it to your inner right thigh. It's a lot of energy of your glute, left glute, to get your hips to stay level. So the twist comes from your core. Awesome. Bring your left hand back to the mat. Good. Take your right knee back down to the mat. Drop your right forearm. Coming back to our side plank, starting with this side first. Right forearm onto the mat. Shoulders into your back. Left arm up. Possibly play a little bit. You get a little bit more confident the second time you do anything. So find whatever you need. Maybe lift your left foot, left leg, whatever you want. It all is good. You find what works. All right, let's go to the other side. Left forearm onto the floor. Roll right away, left shin. And then left head of the arm bone back. Remember? Head of the arm bone back. If you're leaning here, you're just going to end up with a shoulder ache. Be very mindful of your body position. That's the whole point. We're trying to line everything back up from everything that's misaligned. Set your right forearm back to the mat. Let's go for another forearm plank, everybody. It's either here, it's on your knees, it's on your belly. Take 3 breaths. So they're all good. And maybe it's your first few times and you're just learning. So stay with the modified because the modified makes you stronger. Definitely makes you stronger. All right, right hand to the mat, left hand to the mat, downward facing dog. Let's do another one of those little funky vinyasas. So it's your top of your knees, stick your booty back. Lean, chin, chest, cobra pose. Yes. Chuck, do you do a regular vinyasa to come back up? Forearms on the mat, everybody else, chin to chest. Round your spine, you're doing a reverse chaturanga plank. And then come into your downward facing dog. Nice work. All right. Get ready. Put on your balance shoes. Walk your feet to your hands. Forward fold. Soften your knees. I have to say, because I know some of you are like this, and you think that this is where you are, and you can't do yoga because you can't touch your toes. Nonsense. Bend your knees. Touch your toes. And now roll 1 vertebrae at a time. Come all the way up. Shoulder rolls back. Big stretch up. Look up. Palms together. Hands through your heart. All right. We're going to come into dancer pose. So we already got a little stretch of our quadricep. So we'll look down at your left foot and make sure it's parallel 12 o'clock. That just means straight ahead. Take your right hand, elbow right next to your side. And we're going to catch the inner edge of our right foot with our hand. And pause. Catch it? So this is what may happen. Dang, I can't get it. Never get discouraged. It doesn't matter. Bend your knee. The part is the balance. You'll get it all together. It'll happen. With practice, you get it. It comes so fast. I promise. Spread your toes. Reach your left arm up. Stay here. This is perfect. Go to a wall if you're wobbly. Go to a wall. Find dancer. I'm staying right here with those of you that need to. Chuck and Marlene, go to dancer. Reach your left arm out. Kick your right foot up. Find the power of your foot into your hand so you can feel your quad stretch. Stay rooted through the inner edge of your left foot. Keep your drishti over your left hand. Spread your left fingers. Spread your right toes. Yeah, that's a lot to do. And now use your core and use your standing leg and come all the way back up. Set your right foot back down to the mat. Hands at your heart. Woo! And palms open up. Left elbow next to your hip. Left knee's going to bend. Catch your left inner edge of your foot. It might take you a couple times. Let me tell you why you're going to do the left inner edge. If you grab the outer edge, look where my left shoulder is. When I grab the inner edge, look where my shoulder is. So it helps you pull the shoulder back. So find the inner edge of your left foot. Pause here. Get stability in your right leg. Yeah, you'll wobble. You're supposed to wobble. Why do you think we practice balance? Right arm up. Same action. Once you have your balance, get your drishti and start to kick. Kick. Kick and extend. The kick is in the leg. The extend is in your arm. Kick. You got to kick with a firepower. Kick it as hard as you can. Whether you stay where I am or go a little bit further. Doesn't matter. Kick. One more breath. Spread it open. Awesome. And bring your left foot back down. Palms. Nice way to come out, transition, and bring your palms to your Tadasana. All right, let's do another balance pose. So this time it's tree. A lot of you know what tree is, and if you don't, good time to learn it right now. Press to your left foot. Lift your right knee. This is where you're going to get troubled by. So some of you that's never done balance poses, you're all over the place. I can see you dancing. So you'll just take your foot to the floor, and your heel's going to sit right next to your left, into your left leg, and this will be your pose right here. And this will help strengthen your left leg. That's the whole point. You got to strengthen. You can't just go into it. Otherwise, if you're more familiar, go to the inner shin, grab your right hand onto your right ankle, put your foot inside. I'm going to stay with the modifiers so that you know what you can do. Then you can watch my other two, whatever they're doing. I can't see them, but I'm sure they're doing great. All right, and then here's where you get to express. You express, you throw up your branches. So you feel this amazing lightness that's happening with the balance in your left foot. Not saying that it's not difficult. Soften your face a little bit. So if you're like going, oh my God, this is so hard, let it go. Breathe into it. When you are challenged and you want to come out of a pose, that's where your yoga starts. All right, you guys doing good. Ready? Then bring it down. Bring your knee back to center. Bring your palms to your heart. Set your right foot back down to your mat. Hands at your side. Second side, look down at your foot. Why is it so important to look at your foot? Guarantee you, if you did not look at your foot and you were just in this la-la land with your brain, your foot's going to be turned out and you are going to be completely out of alignment. And so how am I going to come in a tree like this? It's just not going to happen. Practice foundation. If you can get foundation in your yoga practice first, you got it made because you're going to build everything from there. All right, right for roots. Sorry, I went on a little tangent there. Left heel. Remember, you're going to turn your knee out. Some of you will lift it up, come right onto the inner thigh, turn your toes back. Others will put it on your shin. Others will bring it big toe on the mat. Now I have stability. I don't have to worry about falling over because my big toe is on the mat. It's helping me, and I'm taking my hands to my heart. And I'm breathing. Now, those of you that are super tree people, right? Tree people, open up your arms if you want. Close your eyes. Challenge your balance in that way. That will take you back to your little old humble self. Especially if you thought you're like, oh, this is easy, this is good, this is easy. Yeah, you can always bring it back. All right, good job. Bring your knee back to center. Hands at your heart, palms at your side. Come to the front of your mat. Let's go wide on your mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. So here your chest is coming now in between your thighs rather than against your thighs because your legs are apart. From here, we're going to let the head drop. Reach your head towards the top of your mat. Soften your knees. For those of you that want to come into Malasana squat, this is your pose. You're going to turn your toes out. Some of your heels will be up. Some of them will be down. But what a great release of your lower back and your hips. My favorite pose in the yoga practice. This is amazing if you have a bad back, your lower back's cranked out. This is always going to help release it with the weight of your sit bones and your hips. But it's not for everybody. If you have problematic knees, it's just not going to happen. So your pose would be here, knees soft, and you just let it hang here. And you can bend as much as you want. You're still going to feel your hip openers. So that's the whole key of it. All right, if you're in Malasana squat, you're going to take your hands back to the mat, and you just come back to the rest of where everybody is and walk your feet back in. Big toes touch. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms, chair pose, reach up. Palms together through your heart center. You're going to try to get your elbow outside your right thigh. Problem with that is a lot of us are really tight in our obliques, and it's not going to happen. Forearm comes onto your thigh, and your left fingertips are on your outer right thigh. Right hand out onto your sacrum, and here's where you find your twist. Inhale, I'm looking up so you can see, but my crown of the head needs to be forward, and then I twist for my core. If my feet are out, I'm out of alignment. It's just not going to be as fulfilling or good for me if I don't stick with my alignment principles. If your hands are together at your heart, right elbow stacks over left, twist to the right, pull your belly and your ribs in, lengthen your spine on the inhale. Awesome. This gets you shaky, so we're going to take a little break. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Take your hands behind your back. You might need a towel, my friends. And shoulder squeeze and see if you can bring your hands closer towards your head. Soften your knees. Why? Because I know you are trying to do it like this. I know you are. You've got to soften your knees more. Chest to thighs. Squeeze your shoulders into your back. Awesome. Perfect. One more breath. Release your hands back to the mat. Walk your feet back together if they came apart. Sit down, chair pose, reach your arms up. Palms come together through your heart center. Take your twist over to the left. Forearm, right forearm, across both thighs. Look at feet and knees. Otherwise, elbow outside, hands at your heart. Find what works in your body today. Days change. Tomorrow could be completely different. Breathe. Inhale, lengthen. Feel your spine get taller. Exhale, squeeze from your belly button. Pull it into your core. Pull it into your back. And on your inhale, come back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step it back. Come to downward facing dog. Set your knees to the mat and find a relaxed child's pose with your arms at your side. Forehead on the mat. Possible side to side motion with your forehead. Actually feels really good, especially if you have a stiff neck or neck issues. Make it feel good. Remember, your practice is to make you feel good. It might be challenging in a lot of parts of the practice, but what happens is, and you get stronger and you start to open up, magical things happen. I promise you, they happen. Things that I couldn't do in my 40s, in my low 50s, I can do now. I'm not telling you my age. Child's pose. Inhale, come back. Sit table pose. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Remember, your child's pose is available at any time you need it. Look between your hands and walk your feet to your hands. Forward fold over your legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bow. We're going to come onto the ground however it's easier for you to come onto the ground. So some of you will squat. Some of you will just sit your knees down. So it doesn't matter. Just be mindful. And then come all the way onto your seat. We're going to set the right leg out and the left foot in. We're going to move the inner flesh down, the outer flesh up. That's just good to release the flesh off your sit bones, and everybody has it. So lift it and move it. Look at your right big toe, straight up. Engage your heel into the mat. Drag your foot back like you're going to move, but it doesn't move. You're going to feel a little bit in the hip, a little bit in the hamstring, and then we're going to just take a forward fold right in the center. And if you can't reach the floor, this is fine. This is fine. Whatever works for you. We're going to be here for a few breaths. We're going to get some longer hold poses so you can really feel the benefits of the stretch. Take a couple, 5 more breaths. If you can go deeper, maybe just go a little further in the forward fold, or stay where you are. Feel your breath. Listen to your breath. Good. And as you walk your hands towards your left shin, take your left hand diagonal of your left hip. I'm going to show the modification, and everybody else, you can go roll onto the inner edge of your right foot. I'm going to stay on my right inner knee, and everybody else can lift up. It's sort of like the plank pose. And then lift up as you reach your right arm up and over. It's called gate pose. Yeah, so stay here in gate pose. Check out your left hand and make sure your left fingers, forward. And then pull your left shoulder into your back body. Pull your right shoulder into your back body. You can look up at your right thumb, or you can look forward, or you look down. Know whenever you look down in a yoga position, you're going to be more grounded. Good. Now some of you, I know you want to do this, so give it a shot if you want. You might find your foot and get a little quad stretch in it. No worries if you don't want to do that. Stay in this pose. This is good enough. Take another breath. And as you bring your left hip back to the mat, take your right foot on past your left quad. Not everybody's not going to be able to do that. So your modification would bring your right foot in front of your left shin. Either way, you're going to move. We're going to twist to the right. Fingertips of your right hand on the mat. Reach your left arm up. Exhale. Pull your belly and your ribs in, almost as if you're trying to do a forward fold. And then take your elbow or your hand. So we limit it to the elbow or the hand so we don't give any hyperextension in the elbow joint. Now, Inhale, lengthen your spine, grow tall. Like there's a little string on your head pulling the crown of your head up. And on your exhale, pull your belly and your ribs in without turning your head. Because what happens is people want to turn their head way further than it should go. And then it just cranks out your neck, and that would be not good. Take another big inhale, fill it up. Exhale. And you can actually feel the surrender and the release and the detox that these twists bring into your body. So amazing. Inhale, come back to center. And right ankle's going to cross over left. I'm going to go in stages because of people. Now, if your knees are here, I want you guys go to any seated double pigeon that you know and like. And then I'm going to explain. So as we sit, and if let's say my knees were here, I would definitely have to go get something to sit on. So whether it be a pillow, a block, I don't need it. But even if you're not so tight in the hips, sitting on something to elevate your pelvis works. So the first stage is Sukhasana. It's a simple seat. You might bring your right foot forward a little bit and your left leg, and then that could be another way. Any of these poses, when you forward fold, you're going to deepen the stretch because it's going to track your body weight, upper body weight tractions your hips because your hips stay on the ground. Another variation is coming to what we call fire log pose, and you move the flesh off your sit bones again. These are different variations of your hip opening poses that can work for anybody, any of these. So I want you to see which one works for you. The next one is cross your thighs, like what we call eagle, but this is called Gomukhasana, and this one is another great one. Just try to get your sit bones to be rooted strong. Also, you want more, because some people have really open hips, and it could have super tight hamstrings. It's just what it is. So you can actually make your shins more even with each other, and same way. I always like to engage feet, toes, in my hip poses, stretches, because it ignites all the way into my lower legs, into my hips. And then you can always forward fold, like I said. You can push your hands against your feet. You can push your shins, inner shins against your hands. Any way to give resistance, to give you a deeper stretch. And all I can tell you to do is do it and feel it, and so you understand what I'm saying. Breathe. Good. As you root down through your sit bones, use your core, come all the way back up. Awesome. We're going to just do that whole little sequence on the other side. Bring your right foot in and bring your left leg out. Move your inner flesh down, outer flesh up. Stay forward. Look at your foot. This is huge because if you don't, I guarantee you, your foot's here. I know. I've seen it enough. So heel digs, drags back, engages everything. It will help release your hamstring. And now take a forward fold. As you forward fold, find your forward fold. Find what you need here. Stay rooted through the sit bones. Stay with your breath. Three more breaths. So you have to pay attention to your breath, especially if you're in a still pose. Because you know what happens? What happens is your mind's going to wander. Thoughts are going to come in constantly. You have to learn how to push them out. You can't control them coming in. Breathe. If you bring your focus back to your breath, guarantee you those thoughts will move way quicker out. As you walk your hands towards your right shin, take your right hand diagonal of your right hip. Look at your right hand. Make sure your index finger's forward. Root down through your right shin. Inner edge of the left foot comes to the mat. I'm going to stay on my outer right knee. And then find gate pose. The modified is more in your hip rather than the knee because everybody's on their knee. Breathe into your left side body. Remember, you have the option to grab your foot. Spread your toes. Good arm. Good side body, and then come all the way back down. Excellent. Second side for your Sukhasana, left ankle on top of right. Lift the flesh off the sit bones. You're going to get a little quicker because I just did all the explanation. Take your left foot out, right foot in. That's a nice one. You can also take your left ankle on top of your shin, knee on top of your ankle, flesh off the sit bones. Fire log pose. You can also cross your thighs. Bring your feet and push your feet. Rest your head on a block, rest your head on your knee. Just get the stretch. It feels so good. This feels good every single day. Everybody should do this every day. Just the hip stretches alone. And it doesn't have to be the most advanced. It can be the easiest. It could be this. This could be so good for you tighter hip people. And especially if you're sitting on a block. And if you forward fold, you might not be able to today, but what if you did this like 4 times a week, especially when you're quarantined in, you have time, do it. Before you know it, super yogis. Press to your sit bones, engage your core, come up. Take your left foot in front of your shin or outside your shin. I went out of order, it doesn't matter, we're gonna get it all in. Reach your right arm up. Pull your shoulder into your back. Round your spine, elbow comes outside your thigh. Straighten your spine tall, crown of the head towards the ceiling. Pull your belly and your ribs in on your exhale. Root strong to your feet. The feet are not going to be all the way grounded. That's okay. Something to root is what you want to rise. Root to rise. Maybe your foot's here. Maybe your hand's here. Maybe your hands on your outer left knee. Push your left hip towards the floor to get taller in the spine. Crown of the head up. Yeah, chin up. There you go. And slowly bring it all the way back to center. Straighten your legs straight out. Opposed, tight hamstring people don't like, but we're going to do it anyway. Lift the flesh off your sit bones. Dig your heels in and soften your knees. So this is for the tighter people because this, of course, is a yoga for stiff people's class. So I'm cueing that you're really tight and you're probably having a little hard time. I totally get it. And of course you will. Don't worry. It gets easier. Dig your heel and then walk your hands. So look at your feet. Pull your chest forward. So your back wants to stay at an angle in the beginning. If you can reach for your big toes, find your big toes and set your elbows under your shins. Pull your shoulders into your back, dig your heels back, and then maybe even take a little bit more forward. If this works for you, this is exactly where you stay. If you have a little more flexibility, you can straighten your legs out. If you can straighten your legs out, you'll take your hands on the outer edges of your feet. Push your big toes away, little baby toes towards you. And that's going to get a really nice stretch. Some of you can even put a block underneath, but that's later on if you have the flexibility. And people at home, I know some of you are doing this class that I know take my classes. And so go for the block or go for your hands and your legs and then draw your chest to your thighs. And the people that cannot do this and go, oh my God, there's no way, know that this can happen someday if you practice with any kind of consistency. Forehead on your mat. Forehead on your legs. As you root down through your sit bones, engage your core. Always transition mindful out. As you slide your heels in, don't you think you're going to get away from no core work today. We just didn't do it in the beginning. One vertebrae at a time comes all the way down. Yeah. Just lay in a little shavasana and say, feel your body right now. Feels amazing. Shake your head. We're going to combine a little more hip opening with some core work. So you can skip the core work if you don't want to work your core, but who wants a big fat belly? Nobody. So work your core. Right ankle on top of your left quad. Lift your left foot or keep your left foot on the ground. It depends on what you need. Take your hands behind your head. As you lift your shoulders off the mat, you got to squeeze them into your back. Important. Head heavy in your hands. If you can't lift your left foot, you're going to keep it down. Your left shoulder is going to go towards your right knee. And you're going to inhale, come back to center. The most important part is not to pull on your head. Come from your center. I don't care if it's 1 inch. So I'm going to go with the less range of motion, and I'm going to still feel amazing core. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, my lower back's imprinted into the mat. Head heavy into my hands. I feel nothing in my neck, and I feel everything in my core and my outer right hip. Spread your toes. See how things can go like to sleep so easy and you lose focus on it? It doesn't happen. If you want a little more, see if you can get your right shoulder off the ground. If you can't, no worries. If you take your right hand on your outer thigh, and now you'll feel the intensity grow. Only if you can. No worries if you can. You might be laying down right now and saying, that's enough core for me today. Perfect. You got another side to go to anyway, so you'll get a chance to get back in. Exhale. Inhale. Last 3. Always give you the countdown. Exhale 2. Awesome. Exhale 1. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Can you lift a little higher? Can you lift a little higher? Chuck, can you? Marlene, can you? Hug and lower all the way back down. Nice work. Release your right foot back to the mat. And move your legs around. And let's go to the second side. Left ankle on top. Remember, you can keep your right foot on the ground. Remember, some of you will just stay here. This is going to be enough. Otherwise, take your right foot up, hands behind your head, squeeze your shoulders into your back, spread your toes, and exhale, twist over to the left. Inhale. Sometimes it helps if you keep it wristy on the ceiling. Sometimes it helps if you keep your elbows wide. I'm telling you, you're going to find what works for you. Some people can bring their elbows in as long as they're not pulling on their head. Shoulder to your left knee. And then remember, we haven't really talked a lot about the breath. Just the fact, because everybody breathes, and it's usually the last thing that you include into the practice. But when you do include it, it's amazing. So exhale when you come up. Inhale when you come back down. Hug your belly into your spine every single time. Nobody has to be with me because everybody has a different rhythm and pattern of breath. I'm going to pause a little bit longer on that exhale because I want more for my core. So if I just was doing this, yeah, I'm working my core, but I'm not getting as much and I'd have to do way too many. Last 3. Exhale. Inhale down, exhale, last one. Nice. Inhale all the way back down. Nice. You forgot to hold it. Grab your left thigh, reach your right arm, and press. Hold. Squeeze. Head heavy in hands. Got it. And slowly come down. Nice work. Happy baby pose. Bring your feet onto the mat and take your hips back to neutral so you're more in a straight line on your mat. Happy baby pose is your hands. Everybody grab your outer legs. What I want to show you in Happy Baby is people think they have to do this. They have to grab their feet. But most people grabbing their feet will be like this, and they're stressing out their head and their neck and their shoulders. And like this is like making them tighter than they were when they started. No, we don't want that. You got to relax. So grab your hamstrings. Open up your legs just to whatever degree. So if your feet are this way, that's normal for tighter people. And in time, you'll get your legs closer to you, and you'll be able to flex your toes and soles of the feet to be on to the mat. And then you might be able to grab your outer shins or calves. This is another option. I like drawing my elbows in and traction my arm against my thighs to get a bigger opening. And just take a couple breaths here. This is an inversion. This is such an amazing pose. Another one right up in the top of my list of favorite poses. And guess what? This is Balasana, except on your back. So it's the same good release in your lower back, release of your hips. Where do we have most problems in America? The lower backs. I might have to say shoulders is getting right up there next to the lower backs. So take your time, breathe into it. Tomorrow we're doing a yin class. So the yin class will be more of a holding poses for a longer time, more stretchy, no muscle energy, or little muscle energy. Bring your feet together. Take your knees in, and then lift your right leg up. Take your left hand on your outer right thigh. Take your right arm out to the side, elbow even with your shoulder, and take just a twist. Here is your focus. You're not going to go any further than you can keep your right shoulder on the ground. So if your shoulder comes up, yeah, anybody can do this, but you're not getting what you want to get. You can soften your right knee. You can straighten your right leg. Doesn't matter. You find what works, what feels good. You're feeling a hip stretch. You're feeling a side stretch. Lift your right shoulder higher. Look over your right shoulder. Look up. Look left. 3 more breaths. You breathe into the spiral, into the belly. Smile. You're doing amazing, every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to finish it off. Good. As you slowly come back to center. For those of you that had a little bit of a hard time, go ahead and let your right leg go down. Roll onto your left side. You can lay your left ear on your left arm. And you're going to reach back for your right foot with your right hand on your side. And so this would be an excellent way to get a quad stretch if you weren't able to get it in our low lunge earlier, or when I did it in the gate pose. And the focus that you have to think about in this quad stretch is you have to actually push your knee as if you're pushing it away from your midline of your body. Once you do that, it's an engagement, there's no movement, that's going to increase the stretch. These are the things that are going to empower your practice. When you can put more energy from your body into yourself to get more of an opening. Did you feel that when you did that? Yeah. Spread your toes. Knee stacks right on top of the left knee as best as you can see. Good, and then you slowly, we're going to release the right foot. You can use your core and come back to center. Let your spine neutralize for a second. Left your right leg come out, left leg comes up. Right hand is going to come on to your left outer thigh. And you're going to start to come over. Left elbow, you can come into more of an airplane arm or a cactus arm. And again, your focus is not to go any further where your left shoulder needs to be on the mat. So it's all about feeling good and releasing your lower back, and also side stretch. You get a hip stretch, you can soften your knee. Breathe. The breath is key in your twist. Inhale, lengthen. Like every twist we did today. Exhale, let it go. One more breath. Make it your best breath. Exhale, get it out. Inhale, come back to your center. Take your feet flat to the mat. If you have a block and you prefer a supported bridge, it's easy. You press your feet down, lift your hips up, slide the block underneath. Otherwise, make sure your tips of your fingers touches your heels. It just gives you a good gauge of where you need to be. And root your feet strong. Hands strong. Lift your hips up. Imagine you have the block between your thighs. If your block's not underneath your sacrum, put it between your thighs, and that will move your inner thighs more towards away from the midline, which is another great way. Interlace your hands if you're able underneath your back and roll under your shoulders. Now, tight shoulder people aren't even going to get close. This is how most people are in our society right now. Shoulders like this. So little by little, you have to just start working them back. So maybe in your bridge pose, you'll be able to get here and then just get here. That's it. That's fine, because you got to start somewhere. So know that there's places to start, and you will build. I promise you. As you slowly bring your hips back down to the mat. Good, and bring your knees back into your chest. Good. We're going to isolate the hip stretch, and then we'll be on our way for our day. Right ankle on top of your left quad. Right arm can come in, grab your hamstring, grab your shin. Now, if your head, neck, and shoulders up and you can't lay your head, neck, and shoulder down, don't grab your shin, don't grab your hamstring, let your arms just hang out. Energize ankle against quad, quad against ankle. All right? This pose can be done on a wall with like this. You can hold onto the wall. Same thing. It's an external rotation of your hip. You can do this pose in a pigeon, where a lot of you are familiar with, and easily stretch it this way. So this is the most doable way. That's why I'm showing you this way today, because this one most people can do. If you have a little more flexibility, grab your outer left foot with your right hand, left hand onto your right foot, and just push and pull. Otherwise, keep it where it is. Shoulders need to be on the ground. Breath needs to be full focus. As you slowly release your feet, if you have them, and release your legs. Feet flat to the mat. Good. Left ankle on top of right. Lift your right foot. If you're able, hamstring or a shin, as long as your shoulders can remain on the mat, head on the mat. Relax your face. Feel the stretch. It's all about ankle push against quad, quad against ankle. Spread all 10 toes. Immediately will increase your stretch. If you want a little bit more and you have the flexibility, you can take your shins parallel. Otherwise, stay with what feels good. Where do you feel the stretch? Breathe into the space where you feel the stretch. Number 4 position. Supine pigeon pose. All right, we're going to finish with another happy baby, and then you are on your way to Shavasana. Find your happy baby. Do not feel like you have to immediately come to your feet. Hands on your thighs. Perfect. If you're here, perfect. Stay here. You will build it from here. You got to open all this fascia up that's probably so tight because it hasn't been moved. You get into deep, deep energy lines in your body. You open them up, like dark places that haven't seen light in a really long time. That's what's going to make you feel so amazing, even if you struggled through it. I promise. All right, as you bring your feet together, knees together, I'm going to turn down the lights. And we're going to lay down and find our Shavasana. Have your palms open up to the ceiling. Relax your shoulders down your back. You can set up your Shavasana as well. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want you to stay in your Shavasana as long as you need to. And I want to thank you for coming today. And I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Namaste. Have an amazing, amazing day.